Good morning, everybody. My name is Hacken. I'm from Huawei Data Communication Product Lines, Huawei R&Ds. So I'm very delighted to be here to join these fantastic activities in such beautiful place. So today I would like to talk about how the networking empowering for the digital transformations. Because previously, I think a lot of I/O managers pay more attention about the cloud computing when they are doing the digital transformations. Well, the network has become mostly afterthought. That means a lot of customers believe that the network, the only thing is just the connectivity, nothing else. But with organizations increasingly leveraging multi-cloud, there is more interest about the cloud network. So this is my topic today. So today I would like only talk about two things. I noticed that the main topic of today is rethink. So I use another two words, the reconstruct and the redefined. So the first part I would like to show what we have already done, because a lot of customers here would care about what have been done previously for Huawei. How can we guarantee the business continuity and at the same time to keep the competitiveness of our products and solutions. So this is the reconstruct now. The second part is about the futures. Because I'm from the R&Ds, so I'd like to talk a lot bit more about future, what we would like to do in the next few years. So this is my presentations. So at the beginning, I'd like to make a very quick update of Huawei. As we all know, Huawei is the leading ICT, information and communication technology provider in the world. Now we have around 190,000 employees worldwide, which 50% of them belong to the R&D, which is very important for us. That means we have more than 100,000 engineers working for the R&Ds. So actually, we have three types of customers, enterprises, consumers, and global carriers. So our product and solutions just focusing on the whole life cycle of information. So in a simple word, actually, we just focus on the generations, transformations, the processings, and the storage of the information. So this is the whole portfolio of what we can provide for our customers. So as President Yi said, so the R&D is very important. I'm from R&Ds. So in the past few years, the ICT industry are facing a very challenging things. I think everybody here feel that, from the chipsets, from the supply chains, from the achievements. I think this is very tough for the whole ICT industries. The more challenges we are facing, the more invest of the R&Ds we need to put more. So we can see the numbers. From 2019, the first restriction bans is coming. So we start to invest more. So we can see from 2019, so the R&D investment increased dramatically. And for the past 3 years, it's reached a very high level, which is very makes sense. Because the only thing we can solve the problem is to look for the answer from the R&Ds. So the EU scoreboard, Mr. Yi has already said, this is rank number 2 for Huawei, just behind Google-based Alphabet. It's beyond the Microsoft, the Samsung, and even the Amazon, our competitors. So we think that the R&D is the key to solve all the problems. So let's look at the Huawei IPs. So we started the data communication businesses from 1995. That means we have around 27 years IP technology experience. So now we have around 11,000 engineers working around all over the world, maybe 17 R&D centers. So basically covering the Wi-Fi, switches, routers, firewalls, and even other network equipments. So I think the biggest improvement for us is the leadership of industry and the standard organizations. To be honest, the IP network is different with other networkings. It's not only for our own self-innovations. We need to make more consensus of the other vendors, partners, competitors, because IP is the bridge from the IT system to the CT and to the OT. They need to collaborate with others. It's not only for our self-innovations. So actually, I joined the Huawei IP 15 years ago. I remember at that time, I have a lot of features need to do, and I have a lot of line cards need to develop. We don't have a lot of opportunities to join the technical proposals, the standard, but 15 years passed. I think a lot of things have changed. Now we can say, take Wi-Fi 6 for examples. Huawei contribute most of the standard of Wi-Fi 6 to IEEEs. And take the wide areas, SRv6 for example. SRv6 actually is well known as the next step of the MPLS networking technologies. So together with our partners and competitors Cisco, we defined the majority of the SRv6, RFCs, and working drafts in the IETF. So we think that this is very important for us. We participate more for the standard definition in the IP networks. So apparently, I would like to talk, this slide is very important. I would like to explain what we have done in the past few years, because a lot of customers ask, how can you, Huawei, providing the leading technologies around the very precious to use? So I think in the past few years, from the R&D, we have done 4 things, which we call it the platform strategies. Consists of 4 parts: the hardware, software, protocols, and operation and maintenance. So take hardware, for examples. I think a lot of IT guys, the network guys, they know that there are a lot of complicated boxes. Small boxes, big boxes, like the routers, chassis, CPEs. The different boxes have different types. So from Huawei at the beginning, we are the same. So how can we guarantee the business continuity and also to increase the competitiveness of our products? No compromise. So we think that we need to unify the platform, so which we call it the big chassis. We unify it as the Galaxy. It's a big chassis. And the small box, which we call it deeper, is the small boxes. So everybody you can see outside in the exhibition. So from the data center switches, routers, firewalls, even the small box, they look similar. So that means we're using the unified platform to solve all the problems of our business continuity. And at the same time, we're using customized chipsets to providing the leading and the powerful capabilities for our customers, which is very important. This is the first one. The second one is software. Because the switches, routers, firewalls, they have different functionalities. They need to install different components. So the second one is we unified the software platform. Previously we called it VRP, but now we call it Yunshan. Actually, in Chinese name is the oldest tree of the world. So the key words of the software is the flexibilities. So the software components can be installed according to your requirement. IGP, BGP, or other functionalities components, you can install it by yourself, DIY services. And it significantly improves the efficiency of the software deployment. So this is another key for the software. And even the OEM, we find a lot of potentials in artificial intelligence, because previously we think that artificial intelligence is only used for some computings, the cloud, but we find a lot of things they can improve the efficiency of the operation and maintenance in networkings. So after we have done the 4 parts of reconstruct, so our solutions and the products become more powerful. So now we win a lot of contracts in the market. Since 2021, we increased more than 1,000 customers worldwide. And for Global 500, we have served more than 260 customers. So our customers covers from the government, the bankings, the transportations, electricities, powers. So in the simple word, actually, Huawei network carries the digital economy, the money transactions, the mission-critical signals. We bring the strong power to everybody, to everything, so which is very powerful and reliable for our customers. So from the market share, the feedback is also very good. For the mainstream shipment of data center switches and Ethernet switches, 10G and 25G. We have ranked #1 in the market. And because of the Wi-Fi AP, the shipments changed frequently, so it's not stable. So we are now the top 3 in the global market. For the one area network, the routers, we are #1 in the carrier market, together with our competitor Cisco, 30% both. So this is a very good achievement from us in the market. And also, we won a lot of recognition from the industry organizations, such as the Gartner Customer Choices, the switches, routers, and even the data centers. We win the customer choices. So all this recognition is voted by the real customer. So it's a very valuable award from the industry. So we can see from the picture, actually, from the data center switches and this Ethernet switches, they look familiar, similar. So that's what I'm talking about. It's based on the Galaxy, the platform. So for different customers, for different scenarios, we're using different chipsets, different Ethernet technologies, but the same platform, which is very, very important for us to stay very strong capabilities for our customers. So first part is for now, but what we do in the future. This is a very important slide. This is the philosophy, what we are trying to define the futures. Because just as mentioned before, IP network is the bridge for IT system and OT and CTs. So we do believe that IP network should follow the IT system change. This is the key philosophy we are define the futures. So what happened for the enterprise IT systems? I think on the left-hand side, at the beginning, I think the majority of the enterprise IT systems looks like that. They have different personal computers, they have servers, they install some very heavy boxes and applications inside that. They're using the switches, connect them together. And this architecture was defined in 1990s, almost 30 years like that. But something has changed now. The first one is the server disappeared because in order to improve the efficiency, in order to guarantee a different kind of requirement, more and more customers start to migrate from server to multi-cloud. Why multi-cloud? Because the different cloud providers have different advantages. Like Amazon, they have advantages about IaaS. The Microsoft maybe advantage have the SaaS. The Google have maybe the data processing. So from the enterprise angles, CIOs will choose different cloud provider by default. And maybe some sensitive data, they will establish their own based data center, private cloud. So that means the network should follow the change from the cloud, different kind of cloud. This is one change, the IT system. So another change is for the devices. Because several years ago, everybody using the personal computers to make a business. But now we can say not only for personal computers, but for the smartphones, tablets, even IoT devices. And previously, all the employees working inside the office, but now we can see a lot of people working outside, in the cafeteria, in the house, everywhere. So the boundary of the network has been extended. So that means the security is another problem, is another sensitive problem. So this is the philosophy we are doing, the future-based network planning. So we think that the IP network should not just connectivity. They need more features to be done, like the ubiquitous, lossless, artificial intelligence, APP aware, and the security. So this is the key logic to drive us move forward. Here is the landscape, the overview of Huawei cloud networking solutions. So we can see all of these things is focusing on the cloud-based. Several parts. The first part is the cloud fabric. It's inside the data centers. So here, we think that they have different requirements. The network is very complicated because when you type the button from your smartphones, you visit an application, nobody knows how many jumps the network transmits. So the network inside the data center should be very simple. They don't care how many jumps, how many routes. They're just using the lossless technology to providing zero packet loss networking inside the data center. And they don't care what kind of media do you have, high performance computing, storage, or even the normal servers. All of these things is based on the hyper-convergent data center networking. This is the key. The second one is for the WAN. Because the previously IP network, you send a message from your point to the destination. Nobody knows where's the route. When something happened, nobody knows what happened. So this part, we need to make the network more intelligent. That means the APP can choose, according to their requirement, to choose different paths. Like you want to go to some places. The first thing, you need to open the navigation tools. You check which path is perfect, which path is much less time. You will choose the best ways before you start. So this is the key for the Cloud WAN. For the switches, for the campuses, I think it's the worldwide. Means because different customers have different branches or different places, how to using the unified networking to connect different branches to multi-cloud. So this is the key. So the philosophy, what we designed the cloud networking is only one word I think everybody can remember. One network for multi-clouds. So this is the key philosophy we are doing the Huawei intelligent networking designs. So autonomous driving network would like to emphasize one page. Later, my colleague will explain more. So this is the, from inside of the R&D, we think that this is the soul of the future-based network. Because I mentioned a lot of functionalities, the lossless, the artificial intelligence, the operation maintenance intelligence. So the boxes need to forward lossless in a high bandwidth, in a strong power, but we need a very strong controllers, which we call it NCE. This is the soul of the future-based, like the SASE, like the ADN, like the NAS technologies. All of them, we need this kind of functionalities. So in a simple word, actually, we just explained in decouple in the three layers. The first one is the network elements. So this is the data-driven. So a lot of data from the network collect from the network part and send all this data to the control part. So according to this data, we're using the knowledge graph algorithm to abstract the network data, to generate some knowledge to make the different decision makers, such as the service provisioning, such as the troubleshooting, such as the service parts decisions like that. So this is to generate the whole knowledge according to the artificial intelligence, so which is very important for the future-based architectures. So we never stop. I think a lot of countries has established the national 2030 programs in Saudi, in UAE, in Oman, a lot of Middle East countries. But in IP networks, we still think the coverage, the extensions will be never stop. We think that the coverage of the IP network become higher and higher and more. This is the philosophy of the IP networks, because now IP just providing the connectivity for videos, for the productivities, but in the future we think that more like different functionalities will be based on the IP networks. So actually the 10 directions is from the R&Ds. It seems like very complicated, but if you just explain, it's very easy. So it just cover the whole components of the networks from the chips. It's the key capacity. From Ethernet, it's the interface to communicate each other. From the coverage, actually, it's the Wi-Fi. Everybody can enjoy the networking. For the protocol, actually, it's the communication, the language, what we talk each other. So now, the IP network is only on the land. So now in the future, we think that the IP network should be extended from the land to the satellite. The satellite, the land, the oceans should be one network. This is the internet. And the cloud network synergy is the trend. For the left-hand side, actually, is the quality, the operation, the maintenance. And the last one is very important, is the green. I think in Europe countries, a lot of the carbon dioxide emissions strategy has been launched. So we think that our dream or our visionary things is to realize the 0 bit and 0 watt. which is very important for the power consumptions. So that's all my presentation for the IP now and to the futures. Thank you, everybody.